Hey everyone, it's Abby and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I wanted to share with you a flip through of my traveler's notebook passport. I have a travel journal insert here that I documented from November to December of last year, and I wanted to show you how I designed it and how I made it a travel log, because I think it's the first time I actually did that for the passport format. So that will be what you'll find in today's video. But first things first, in case you don't know, I have a book on travel journaling. It's called The Art of the Travel Journal. Right here, links in the description on where to get them, but they're available at a bookstore near you. So I mostly talk about travel journaling, ways to document your trips, different techniques. If you're curious about how I organize my travels, how I illustrate, as well as different stationery and information you need for collage and just in general, like documenting about your trips, this is the book for you. I also feature some journalers who inspired me to document, and I hope you get inspired too. So more info in the link in the description. This book has been like 6 months old since it has been published, so you can still find it, and it is available internationally, so make sure to get a copy yourself if you're keen on doing some travel journaling in the future. So let's get right to the video. I am actually not sure if I shared with you this particular cover, but I got this brown, it's the general brown one, the classic brown one, from Kiroko in November when I went to Leipzig for the first time. I don't use this cover as much, but it's where I currently house this insert, so I thought I'd share it with you. This is the MD paper cream insert, aka everyone's favorite, or at least my favorite, and I definitely want to give you an overview of the insert. First things first, I actually used the wrong side, so silly me. Oh, I remember now, I think I did a video on the TN Short Trips organization, but it's pretty thick, so I finished everything, but I don't know if I want to do this again. More reviews later, but let's get right into the flip through. So as you can see on the first page, I put in the key dates that are in this particular insert. So this was October, November, fall trips in general. I don't know, I just wanted to use this because I didn't have like long trips coming, so it was just made sense to sort of like document them into one insert. So the first one is we went to Potsdam for a day trip. I went with my best friend, and I kept the tickets, and also this was the time that I started to document with a small format. I don't know if I enjoyed it, but it definitely took up a lot of space, which was nice because like you put in a photo and then it's done. So it was relatively easy to document. I think that's the key word for it. We had a really nice time at Museum Barberini. There's a permanent collection there with Monet's work, and I have a really strong attachment to Claude Monet because he's the first artist I knew of when I was like 14. We also went around the Dutch Quarter, so we brought RTNs, and also I made sure to stick, you know, kind of relevant elements like this en route sticker from Everyday Explorers. I also kept the Le Crow bag packaging that I saved because I think I had a croissant for breakfast. So it's really important to save these little details, especially if you're traveling for like a day, because you know, not much happens in a day, but if you really look closer and you're really observant about things, you'll be able to save them. And then November, I was like pretty like itching to leave Berlin just to like explore and like take more trains. So the first thing I did was I went to Kiroko Well, I visited Suna. At the time, she didn't have a store yet, and it's the first time I met up with her. I was kind of nervous, so I said, okay, we can like meet for a day, and I just go there, and then we can have coffee. So we had coffee at this place called Bohemian Kids, and it was nice. I really like the branding. It's pink. It's like muted pink, and because this was too bright for me, you know, me with my color coordination, I decided to hide it and then just made this whole page like pink and blue. This is the tram ticket, so I travel by tram in Leipzig, and really enjoyed our time together. I think that was like one of the moments where I was like, wait, I think we kind of get along. I am not the most sociable person, but when I meet people that share the same values as I do, I feel like that's like, you know, chef's kiss. It's like, yes, instant connection. So we hung out the entire day, and I also tried to write in Mandarin. So for those of you who don't know, I'm actually Filipino Chinese. So I want to do more writing in Mandarin in the future, but I really enjoyed this day. It's one of my favorite. Actually, that weekend was really nice. Like this day and then that Sunday was also really nice. I spent it with friends in Berlin at the park. So of course I had to log that I got this passport size. So when I went to visit Suna, I also got my cover. Like I picked it up, obviously. I buy my TN covers from very specific places, and I felt like it was special that I ordered this from Kiroku, so I really chose that. I'm very intentional with where I buy my stationery. So I also did a lot of leaf collecting during the autumn season, obviously, so this is one of them. And then moving on, I didn't really organize this as much as I expected to, but I went on a 5-day trip to Strasbourg in France, which is like the border of, it's near the German border. So I took a really long train, and then I rode with Kaylee to Strasbourg. So interestingly enough, Strasbourg has a lot of stickers. Like every cafe you go to, they have stickers. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna take all of them. This is Kaylee, and I asked her to write a little short note before our trip ended. So that trip was mostly like a retreat slash brainstorm slash ideation session. I think it was a bit difficult for me because I was pretty distracted that time with personal stuff, but I did get some things done. There was like a little corner at our room where there was a desk and like this like wooden situation. It feels like a cabin actually. So I was just there for most of the afternoon, like brainstorming or so. So it was enjoyable, and I also printed these, of course, after the trip. So I used my printer to print these photos. I wanted to capture the essence of France a bit, and like the skies were really blue. It was really great weather. I think the second day, because the first day it was really like dark and gloomy. So we did a bit of sightseeing. It's a very small town, so it's relatively nice to just walk around. It's in the Alsace region, and we got super obsessed with these eclairs. It's called Donatien. It's really, really good. I think I have a Strasbourg. Yeah, I have a mini Strasbourg itinerary on my Patreon if you wanted to check that out. This one was a cafe restaurant in Karlsruhe. It's no longer in France, but I remember keeping the packaging and the cards, and I really enjoyed working on this like brown, black, white craft color scheme. So I've been enjoying really just putting things together. It's like my it's so funny when I say that, like, yeah, I like putting things together. Like, yeah, obviously. I also did manage to get some maps, I think, while we were walking. So instead of just cutting up the entire map, I just like tore some pages, and of course I had to make it fit with the size of the passport, which is a bit tricky if you think about it, because it's relatively small, but it's compact, which I really like. This is one of my favorite shots. We were having brunch at this cafe, and it wasn't open yet, so I was like, hey, can you take pictures of me here walking? It's really nice. I really liked my outfit that day. This was another experiment that I did. So we went to a ramen place, but also I tried to capture a photo in black and white, have it printed in black and white. And this is like acetate, I think. So it had that kind of like layering effect, which I think was really interesting. I still want to work on these like pop-up things. It's not something I think about doing all the time, but I really want to explore. This was the stationery store in Strasbourg. It's called Monogram. It was great. It was small, but there was a big 𝚘𝚆𝚆 pen. It was really cute. So I think I got like a bookmark or something, and I got a passport craft folder. I finished this spread, I think on the last night or so, but the secret there is I actually took this photo in Dresden already. So it was, I took a photo in Dresden, but now you know, but no one knew before. So this one was, I think, one of the flyers. So every time we dine in at a restaurant, there's always going to be like a stack of flyers or like maps or stuff. And it's always important to look at them because number one, it's design inspiration. I'm also a designer, so I think it really helps me like get stimulated with a lot of ideas. Number two, you can use them for journaling. So I just cut it up and it was really pretty. I didn't want to like overpower it, so it just exists there, and it's art in itself. This was Dresden. Okay, so I booked a 3-day trip to Dresden alone. I never talked about it. I never filmed it. I never posted photos about it, I think, because I just wanted something for myself. It was really difficult to do that. At first I wanted to film a lot of things, but then I ended up not doing so. But this was towards the end of November and I really enjoyed my time there. I went to this coffee shop called Kava, and then this one was at another coffee shop. It's from Cafe Oswald's. It's like, I think this was already the day that I was leaving. So in Dresden, I tried drawing. I wanted to do this more actually. I think I should do it more. So these are some details from the Altstadt, which is the old town. And I used a fountain pen for this. It's, I think, Kaweco Sport Medium with 𝚘𝚘 vert degree or so. I didn't draw as much because I had a separate travel journal that I brought to paint. And looking back, I spent too much time doing that, so I just wanted to do this moving forward. So this was a bit experimental because I didn't know if I wanted to do this in a passport size, but I like that I cropped the details out. It's like small details that otherwise would get lost in like a big illustration, if that makes sense. So the day I was in Altstadt was really nice. I enjoyed it a lot. I forgot what church this is, but it's one of the key highlights of Dresden, and I just really love the details. I just walked around by myself, looked at the architecture. I also took a lot of door photos and window photos because I made a tutorial on it also on Patreon. And it's one of the details that I really like looking at when I visit a new city, like architecture-wise. So these are more Dresden stuff. I looked so different here. Yeah, this was me. I got a really nice small room in Neustadt, so that was really nice because I could just walk around and I didn't take the tram, I think. So I just brought a few essentials. One of them was, of course, this journal and like my plans journal. I also took a different route, but when I went to the hotel, they had this really big map. So I found it interesting because I tore off part of the map, and then I saw that they had like orange bits. So having that prompt in mind really organized the entire spread for this like bits of green, bits of orange. So that's kind of my thinking process for you. More highlights of Dresden. So it was really nice because I used to walk around this area before when I first went there in, I think, end of November also in 2019. But there was a Christmas market, which funnily enough I missed. But I've heard that they have great Christmas markets in Dresden, so hopefully this year I get to visit. But it was nice to just see it like empty and you're just walking along, and it wasn't as crowded yet. So I went to one of those puppetry stores and I got a tiny 𝚘𝚘𝚆 notebook. It's an A6 one. I don't use it anymore. I used it to plan my holidays when I went to the Philippines. Also, I kept this sugar packet because it was so cute. I just wrote a small reflection of November. I think November was a very chaotic month. I think it was chaotic good. So many things happened that month, but traveling was one of them because the last time I traveled before this was back in the Philippines, and then before that was San Francisco. I also made a lot of memories with myself, like I just watch movies at night. I don't know, I embraced a lot of my true self, which I think I don't really have that much leeway to do anymore. I don't know, just, you know, life happens sometimes. Also, I skipped this page by accident. Towards the end, honestly, I feel like it got a bit difficult to document this. And also, sadly, I filmed the process of journaling about this, but I couldn't find the files anymore. So now you're seeing the end result. But it was a bit difficult just because the page count was just too much for this kind of documenting, I feel. So, other things in Dresden, I bought a pouch from 𝚽𝚘𝚆 Leather. I'll show you next time when I work on like my travel essentials, because it's a pouch for my portable travel illustration setup. We also went to 𝚽𝚘𝚆, and it's rare to get packaging from 𝚽𝚘𝚆, so I made sure to save it here. These are just like bits and bobs. I didn't really have anything in mind to write about anymore, so it was just like little experiments here and there. I think that's the end of it. Last thing is, like, I went to Muji because it was getting cold and I didn't have like warm sleepwear, so I actually bought some and they're very comfy. So yeah, that's the end of this insert, this travel journal insert. And then I just stuck in some tea. I would say the best part about this is actually size-wise, it's really great. I really enjoyed it. I just didn't have a half-trip refill one. Half-trip one is, I believe it's only 32 pages and this is 64. So if I had a half-trip one, it would be better. But since I just had the regular one, I filled it up to the brim. Do I regret it? No. But it's really very chunky, as you can see. But I really enjoyed documenting with this, so I probably want to explore on it next time more. But with the consideration of I want to do more illustrations like this. So a lot of people have been asking me about journaling with Traveler's Notebook Passport, like the way I do it for regular. And so I guess hopefully this answers your question. Like, it's a great way to really try it out if you're also going on a short trip, or you're just not going to want to spend too much time like updating your regular insert on the go. Then using a passport would work. I also will say that I journaled while I was there and also after the trip. Obviously I printed the photos after the trip, so hopefully this would give you some ideas on how you can approach it in your own upcoming trips. And if you're going somewhere this year, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to check out and like give some tips and advice. Last thing I want to share is you can find all the photos or selected photos of the journal pages of this particular insert on Patreon and the journal tier. So Patreon allows me to live and work as an artist and author, so I appreciate your support. And thank you so much for watching this little flip through. I'll link out also my Traveler's Notebook playlist. I do more Traveler's Notebook videos since last year, and it's been the system that I go and gravitate towards these days. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!